A different desk to the one you're used to seeing me at. On my travels here in Tuscany, and I can tell you probably can't see it right now, but out there is the most amazing view. I'll show you some of that in the video as well. And I thought, well, I'd test out this thing. It's quite an attractive idea, isn't it? This is the Seenda travel keyboard. It's a foldable keyboard like this, and it's pretty cool. And it's got a trackpad. And I bought this one specifically because it didn't have like the space bar broken, and it didn't have to squeeze in the keys in any kind of funny way. But it's not perfect. I don't know whether some of the other ones, which maybe have sort of metal construction, might be slightly better actually, because it's a little bit at times when you're typing, it feels a little bit flimsy. I almost wish they could have had, when you snap it open, a sort of more rigid support across this section here. That would be really, really useful. Well, I was thinking, is this just going to be the perfect e-ink travel typewriter? And of course, using the Boox Palma, which is a really great little e-ink tablet, little phone-sized e-reader here. And yeah, it has this Boox Super Refresh, so it's really good to type on. Boox Super Refresh refers to the way that Boox devices can use their GPUs to actually make the screen response incredibly quick. So there's very little lag that you might expect if you're using an e-ink screen. What's more is that the Boox Super Refresh can actually clear out ghosting in the white space in the e-ink panel. That is really useful if you're using any apps beyond simple reading apps. There are plenty of minimalist typewriters out there on the market today, and it is a really appealing idea. And I would suggest this is a really cost-effective way of putting one together yourself. And you've also got a highly capable e-ink tablet and reader there as well. And that works really well. You can have it in the vertical mode and you've got a bit more room, or you can have it horizontal and you've got a bit more room horizontally. There is an issue though with the Boox, which is just that the on-screen keyboard keeps popping up, which is quite frustrating really. And because it's got the Super Refresh, actually the mouse works pretty well as well. I did end up finding the setting to disable that automatic pop-up of the on-screen keyboard when you're using an external Bluetooth keyboard. Although I think that's something that should be actually off by default. If you've plugged in an external keyboard, you probably don't want the one on screen. And that's the type of thing that Boox could consider about the way people do use their tablets. Although when I was doing this bit of writing, I couldn't find the pound sign. It is probably in there somewhere. I think if you're considering spending about £400 on a dedicated e-ink typewriter or more, then I would consider this a Boox tablet along with an external keyboard, either this one for travel or a good quality mechanical keyboard. It can be a really great place to do your typing. And crucially, it's all of course syncing up to Google Drive in my case, or whatever cloud app you want to use. And yeah, typing on e-ink is a good time. Now, time will tell whether this is really comfortable enough to type on long term. I can tell you it's probably a little bit better than the sort of cheaper iPad keyboards that you get, or the cheaper Bluetooth keyboards, you know, the ones you get bundled into tablets when you buy them from AliExpress, etc. I found I'm getting quite a few missed keystrokes when I type with it, but I think that's partly just getting used to this sort of size and layout, and I do wish it had some way of propping itself up slightly, just raised slightly off the desk so that it was a bit more at an angle that I'm used to. Of course, it's not got a satisfying key sound like a mechanical keyboard would, but yeah, I like it. I think it's 40 quid well spent. And I do think as well that, yeah, it's not got the metal design, but the plastic makes it very, very light. So that's quite cool. I think 40 quid well spent there. And this of course has a UK keyboard layout, which is quite nice as well. So I did go ahead and use this alongside the Boox Go 10.3, and by the way, this is how you use the case to make sure it doesn't slip out. And it did work absolutely fine, but I will say that because the Boox Go 10.3 is a non-BSR device, the typing isn't as quick and you do get ghosting on the page, which you can clearly see there. And as soon as you start editing a document and you're moving the text up and down, then that does get a bit frustrating, it does get a bit distracting. So I would recommend, if you're looking to type on e-ink, that you look at something like the Boox Palmer or like the Tab Mini C, which does have the super refresh. And you can see there, for instance, using the pointer, that's not so good on something which is just that sort of slower form of e-ink. Overall, the keys sound and they look pretty plasticky, and you know, that's what you're expecting here. This is a low price point keyboard. It's not a premium feel and the whole deck is pretty wobbly, but it does work and it's all that you'd expect it to be at this price point. I still recommend this. The Note Air 3C is one of the very best e-ink tablets that you can get. You get BSR, so it's super fast in typing, and you get this vertical mode with the stand. You can use the balance mode and you will basically have zero ghosting throughout the time working, editing a document on this tablet. The color screen means it's great for using apps like here I'm using Google Docs, because you can differentiate between the different buttons. Oh, and I don't know what happened here with the when I folded it up and didn't turn the keyboard off. So if you're interested in a more writer, productivity orientated workflow, but you don't really like the keyboard case on the Tab Ultra C Pro, then the Boox Note Air 3C is a really good way to go. But yeah, how about that? The Boox Palmer and the Seenda keyboard for a super small and light travel e-ink typing setup. I'm really pleased with it. I tried it using the Boox Go 10.3 and I did find the ghosting on that non-BSR was pretty heavy as well. But if you're in speed mode, then you don't really notice the lag too much. And certainly if you've refreshed the screen and you're just typing one long piece of text, you aren't really going to notice the ghosting because you're just filling up a blank space with text. I also kind of like having the trackpad off to one side, and I don't know why more laptops and keyboard cases don't do this, because actually then you're less likely to accidentally press that with your thumb as you're typing. And yeah, I bought this. I quite like it as a purchase. I think it is going to come along with me whenever I'm traveling and I want to make quick edits on my e-ink tablets. I think it's quite useful. And one other thing that I've been doing on this holiday is I've been comparing two small portable e-ink tablets, these two phone-sized ones, so check out that video coming soon as well. But the winner, the one that's been really, really good, has been the Tab Mini C, which actually I'm really looking forward to them doing a refresh on this as well. So let's go ahead and get it hooked up to that. On-off switch at the top, hold down function, one of the Bluetooth things, puts it into its kind of pairing mode, scroll down, open up the Bluetooth options, and there it is. Pairing's really quick there, really good actually. The mouse works surprisingly well actually for scrolling with two fingers as well as for clicking. There you are, a portable e-ink typewriter. I think that's pretty cool.